This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris, and today I'm making Mexican chocolate ice cream. Well, once you try this ice cream, you may never go back to regular chocolate again. It's got a really great complex flavor with cinnamon and a little bit of cayenne pepper. To get started, I have a medium-sized saucepan and 2 cups of a 2% milk. I'm going to bring that to a boil over medium heat, and that takes about 12 minutes. Now we're going to start melting the chocolates that we're going to be using in this ice cream. So in a small bowl that's microwave safe, I'm going to put in a half a cup of heavy cream, 1 ounce of unsweetened chocolate, and then I'm going to get out some Mexican chocolate. And it comes, where I get it at least, in a package like this, and it comes in these little discs. Inside each packet is a disc of chocolate. Now I want to cut this up with my knife into some smaller pieces until I get about a half a cup. Now you can see I'm using one of my large knives, and I'm almost shaving through the chocolate. And the reason is when it's in smaller pieces like that, it'll melt a lot quicker in our cream. Now that ended up being one of those discs of Mexican chocolate, and that ends up being about 3 ounces. So I'm going to put that in with my heavy cream and my unsweetened chocolate. And just with a little spatula, I'm going to mix this together, and I'm going to put it in the microwave on 30-second bursts until that chocolate is melted. Now once the chocolate is really smooth and melted, I'm going to add to it just a pinch of salt, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Then I'm going to mix all this together, and once I see that all the spices have mixed into the chocolate, I'm just going to set this aside to cool. Now over here at my mixer, I've put on my whisk attachment, and in the bowl I'm going to put in 5 egg yolks along with some sugar, a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to let this mix around in here for 2 minutes. Now once the milk has come up to a boil, which means we start to see some little bubbles underneath the surface, I'm going to bring it over to my mixer, and I'm going to drizzle it in about 1 tablespoon at a time. And the reason I'm putting it in so slowly is that I don't want it to cook the eggs and scramble them. So I temper the eggs by pouring the milk in nice and slow. Then I'm going to take this pan, I'm going to put it right back on the heat on a medium-low. I'm going to take my eggs off the mixer and pour it right into my saucepan. Now with a heat-resistant spatula, I'm going to start stirring this egg and milk mixture, and I have an instant read thermometer that I use. I want this mixture to get up to 170 degrees. So I'm at about 158 right now. So I'm going to stir that until it gets up to 170. I'm going to turn my heat off, and I'm immediately going to put in my chocolate mixture. So you can see it starts to turn brown. Now over here I have a little apparatus. It's my large measuring cup. It's 8 cups with a little strainer in the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this mixture through the strainer. Now the reason I do that is because I want to catch any solids of anything that has started to cook. So I'm going to take my spatula and kind of press through And then any egg or any white that has started to cook will get trapped in here. Now I'm going to let this sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes. Right now it's too hot to put in the refrigerator, so I need to bring it down to room temperature. Then once it's cooled down a bit, I'm going to take some plastic wrap, put it over the top, and then put this in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 hours. The mixture needs to be totally cold before we can put it in our ice cream machine. And my mixture is nicely chilled down now, so I'm going to take off the plastic and give it a little stir. And I'm going to go ahead and get my freezer ready. So I'm going to put on my chilled bowl and the dasher, put the lid on, and I'm going to go ahead and start this up. Now while it's running, I'm going to take and pour the mixture right down in the top. And I'm going to let that freeze for about 20 minutes. Now after 20 minutes, our ice cream has gotten nice and thick, but it's not thick enough to scoop yet, so we have to harden it off. So I'm going to take the dasher out, and then over here in a freezer container, I'm going to spoon the ice cream out. I'm going to put a lid on it, and then I'm going to put it in the freezer for about 2 hours to harden off. Well, as you can see, this ice cream really hardens off nicely. You get a nice scoop from it. Well, if you'd like to try this Mexican chocolate ice cream at home, just go to our website and visit the Sundays with Cindy show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And as always, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.